Dinner began beneath the golden lights. The table gleamed with silverware and folded linen. Lynn sat quietly, watching her family take their seats. Her father glanced at the menu and frowned slightly. "This place must cost a fortune," he muttered. Her mother smiled, but her tone was sharp. "Such a kind gesture, dear, but maybe too much." Her sister Mai leaned forward, eyes narrowing. "You should have asked me first. I could have got a discount." Lynn stirred her water slowly, hiding her thoughts. It was always the same conversation in new clothes. They worried about her finances, her choices, her life. They assumed she was struggling, and she let them. Her brother Tu let her 1EA5 and tapped his phone, calculating silently. "This wine probably costs your month's rent," he said. The joke landed, light and cruel. Lynn smiled, the way one does to survive. She had learned that silence was armor. Her mother asked about her apartment again. "Still living in that small place in Evanston. There are cheaper options if you just look." Lynn nodded politely. "It's close to work," she said. She didn't mention the warehouse her company owned nearby. She didn't mention the staff who called her boss. She didn't mention the contracts waiting in her inbox. Mai sipped her wine and looked around the room. "Places like this aren't for people just starting out," she said. Tu let her 1EA5 and laughed softly. "Unless you're dating the manager." Lynn's smile tightened, but her voice stayed even. "It's just dinner," she said, "for Dad." The air grew heavy, with unspoken judgments. They loved her, she knew, but never understood her. To them, she was still the little sister chasing dreams. To herself, she was something else entirely. The waiter arrived with the first course, delicate and warm. Mai inspected the plate like it held a secret. "This is nice," she said. "Extravagant but nice." Her tone balanced between compliment and criticism. Lynn nodded, her mind far away. Every word felt like a reminder of the distance between them. Success had become her private world, locked behind manners. She learned to smile while being underestimated. Her father broke the silence with a gentle laugh. "Well, this is quite the birthday surprise," he said. His warmth softened the edges of the moment. Lynn relaxed slightly, grateful for him. Her mother leaned over again, voice low. "You're thoughtful, darling, but don't overdo it. Money goes fast, and stability takes time." Lynn's fingers traced the rim of her glass. She remembered the nights of ramen and deadlines. She remembered building her company from nothing. And yet here, among her family, she was invisible. The wine shimmered in the light as she took a sip. Their laughter floated around her like an old melody. She knew every note by heart. The doubt, the pride, the pity disguised as care. It was the song of family, and tonight she would rewrite it. Halfway through dinner, Lynn excused herself politely. She told them she needed to speak with the chef. Her father nodded, too busy with his meal to notice. Mai glanced at her husband and smirked slightly. As Lynn stepped into the corridor, the noise softened. She paused near the corner, phone in hand, heart steady. Then she heard it, her family's voices drifting behind. Mai's tone was sharp, low but unmistakable. "What is she trying to prove? This place is ridiculous." Tu let her 1EA5 and laughed, his voice quick and certain. "She probably maxed out her credit cards for tonight." Her mother sighed, the sound heavy with worry. "She means well, but she never thinks long term." Her brother-in-law added quietly, "Maybe she's seeing the manager." The words hit her like small stones, familiar but fresh. Lynn stood still, breathing slowly through the sting. She'd heard variations of this her whole life. Too ambitious, too naive, too emotional, too proud. Every label they gave her built another wall between them. She thought she had learned not to care. But standing there, she felt the burn return. Behind the wall, her father's voice rose, softer. "Let her do this. She's thoughtful, always has been." A lump formed in her throat at his defense. She pressed her hand to the cool marble wall. It grounded her, pulled her back into control. This night was for him, not for her pride. Still, the ache inside her refused to fade. Every success she'd hidden was meant to avoid this pain. Every silence had been a shield against disbelief. And yet here it was again, raw and familiar. She glanced toward the kitchen, then at her reflection. The mirror showed a composed woman in a silk dress. No one in that room knew the truth behind her calm. She whispered to herself, "Breathe, not tonight." But part of her was already changing direction. Something inside her shifted, sharp and clear. Maybe it was time to stop hiding. Maybe it was time to stop protecting them from the truth. She straightened her back, fixing her expression. The hurt turned into something stronger, resolve. She would not let bitterness win, only honesty. She walked back toward the table, heels clicking softly. Her smile returned, perfect and unreadable. Mai looked up, pretending warmth. "Everything okay?" "The chef is preparing something special for Dad," Lin said. TU letter 1EA5 and raised his glass, amused. "Special or expensive?" Lin's eyes met his briefly, calm and steady. "Both," she replied, her tone light but firm. The waiter entered with the next course, steam rising. Butter and truffle filled the air with quiet luxury. Her family admired the food, while continuing to judge. Lin smiled through it all, knowing more than they guessed. The storm inside her had found its direction. Tonight would not end in silence. She looked around the table, memorizing their faces. The people she loved, the people who doubted her. By the time dessert arrived, they would see her differently. For the first time, they would truly see who she was. The meal drifted toward its quiet climax. Laughter rose and fell like shallow waves. Then the waiter approached with a discreet black folder. "The bill, miss," he said softly, placing it on the table. Mai's hand moved first, fast and practiced. "I'll put this on my corporate card," she announced. "Everyone can pay me back later." TU letter 1EA5 and chuckled, spinning his pen between his fingers. "Let Lin handle the tip, that's fair enough." Lin looked at them both, her face unreadable. The moment felt suspended, fragile as glass. Then she spoke, her voice calm and cool. "No need, I've already got this covered." She reached into her clutch, slow and deliberate. A small black card gleamed between her fingers. Titan Amex, metal heavy, real. It hit the table with a soft, distinct sound. Every conversation stopped in an instant. Her mother blinked, uncertain what she was seeing. TU letter 1EA5N leaned closer, eyebrows raised. "Is that one of those fake internet cards?" he asked. Mai laughed quietly, relief in her disbelief. "They make replicas that look so real now." Lin didn't flinch. "It's real," she said simply. The waiter's eyes widened almost imperceptibly. He lifted the card carefully, recognizing its weight. "Of course, Ms. Lin. I'll take care of this right away." Silence followed him out of the room like a shadow. Her family stared at one another, confusion spreading. Mai folded her arms. "Well, that's interesting." Her mother whispered, "Lin, are you sure about this?" TU letter 1EA5 and smirked, voice low. "Hope it clears." The seconds stretched thin, heavy with tension. Then the manager himself returned, posture straight. "Ms. Lin," he said warmly, "forgive the delay." The verification process for Centurion cards takes time. Mai's smirk faltered, her breath catching. The manager continued, "Also, thank you for choosing us again." Her father frowned. "Again." The manager smiled. "LA Signature Events hosted the governor's gala here. Your daughter's company was extraordinary to work with." The words hung in the air, shimmering like truth. Her family froze, eyes wide, faces shifting. Lin met each gaze in turn, calm and composed. TU letter 1EA5 and stammered first. Your company." "Yes," Lin said, voice level, steady. Mai blinked hard, color draining from her cheeks. "I thought you were freelancing," she whispered. "I was," Lynn replied, until I built something better. The waiter returned with the receipt, bowing slightly. The transaction has been approved, Ms. Lynn. Her father's eyes glistened, pride and confusion mingling. Her mother covered her mouth, whispering her name. The weight in the room shifted, something irreversible. Lynn signed the receipt with practiced ease. Her movements were fluid, professional, certain. Mai's husband checked his phone under the table. His face paled as he read the company's name online. The truth had arrived, undeniable and sharp. The woman they underestimated had just rewritten the story. Lynn leaned back, her voice quiet but clear. Now, she said, shall we enjoy dessert? The silence after dessert felt almost sacred. Everyone stared at Lynn, as if seeing her for the first time. Her father's hand trembled slightly on his glass. Her mother's pearls caught the light, unmoving. Mai leaned forward, voice barely above a whisper. You own that company. Lynn nodded once, steady and calm. Yes, I founded LA Signature Events in 2019. Her tone carried no pride, only truth. TU, letter 1EA5, and blinked, recalculating everything he thought he knew. I don't understand, he said quietly. You were living in that tiny apartment. Lynn smiled faintly, a hint of warmth returning. It's near our logistics hub, she explained. It's not small, it's strategic. The room shifted as realization spread. Her father finally spoke, his voice low but proud. All this time, you were building something. Lynn met his gaze, soft but unflinching. I wanted to make sure it worked before I spoke. Her mother clasped her hands together tightly. Why didn't you tell us, sweetheart? I didn't want to change how you saw me, Lynn said. I needed to know your love wasn't measured in success. Mai looked away, shame flickering in her eyes. TU, letter 1EA5, and rubbed the back of his neck, avoiding her gaze. What does the company even do? He asked. We produce corporate events nationwide, Lynn replied. 78 last year, 17 states, revenue around 52 million. The numbers landed like quiet thunder in the room. Her father exhaled slowly, a smile spreading. You built all that from nothing. Lynn nodded again, calm and composed. 2 part-time assistants in a rented space, she said. Now we have 47 employees and growing. Mai's voice cracked slightly. You never said a word. Lynn's eyes softened. Would you have listened? The question floated, gentle yet piercing. Mai's lips parted, but no answer came. Her husband stared at his untouched coffee. TU, letter 1EA5, cleared his throat, forcing a smile. Well, he said, I suppose I misjudged you. You did, Lynn replied, but there was no bitterness. Her mother's eyes shimmered with tears. I'm so proud of you, she whispered. Her father reached across the table, taking Lynn's hand. For years, I thought you were chasing dreams, he said. I didn't realize you caught them. Lynn's throat tightened at his words. I learned from you, Dad, she said softly. Excellence in every detail, remember. He chuckled, eyes glistening. You remembered that. The waiter entered quietly with champagne. Compliments from the manager, Ms. Lynn, he said. The cork popped, a bright sound in a quiet room. Glasses clinked gently, shimmering under soft light. Her family looked at her differently now, not with doubt but awe. Lynn lifted her glass, smiling. To family, she said simply. Her father raised his own. To Lynn, he answered. For the first time, she felt truly seen. The champagne sparkled between them, soft and golden. No one spoke for a long moment. Then Mai broke the silence, her voice trembling slightly. Why did you keep this from us, Lynn? She asked. We're family, we should have known. Lynn looked at her sister with calm, steady eyes. I was afraid, she said quietly. Afraid that success would change how you treated me. TU, letter 1EA5, frowned, his pride flickering behind confusion. Change how we treated you. We were just trying to help. Lynn smiled faintly. Help can feel like doubt when it's constant. Her mother's fingers twisted the napkin on her lap. You could have trusted us, she whispered. Lynn took a slow breath, her voice measured. I tried once. You didn't hear me. Mai looked defensive, guilt shadowing her face. When did we ever ignore you? She asked softly. Lynn met her gaze without anger. Thanksgiving 3 years ago, she began. I mentioned the Northwestern Medical Conference contract. TU letter 1EA5 and asked if I was still doing small parties. Mai suggested I apply to her firm for stability. TU letter 1EA5 NS mouth opened, then closed again. Her father winced slightly, remembering the moment. Her mother blinked, as if replaying old words. I thought I was encouraging you, Mai whispered. You were doubting me, Lynn replied, gentle but clear. And I learned to protect myself with silence. The words settled heavily around the table. Her father sighed, his voice rough with regret. We never meant to make you feel small. Lynn reached for his hand, her touch light. I know, Dad, but it still did. TU letter 1EA5N leaned forward, breaking the tension. Your success is amazing, he said earnestly. But you have to admit, it's strange you hid it. Lynn nodded slowly. It was easier that way. When people know your worth, they start to measure it. They stop seeing you as a person, just a number. Her mother's eyes filled with tears again. We failed to ask who you really were, she said. Lynn smiled softly. Now you know. Mai exhaled shakily, shoulders relaxing for the first time. I used to envy how free you seemed, she confessed. I thought you were lost, but you were just ahead. TU letter 1EA5N rubbed his eyes, laughing awkwardly. I guess the MBA didn't teach me humility. Her father raised his glass again, voice warm. Pride blinds us sometimes, but love lasts longer. Lynn clinked her glass gently with his. Then let's start again, she said simply. The family nodded, their smiles tentative but real. For the first time, the table felt equal. No roles, no assumptions, no hidden truths. Just people learning how to see each other again. The champagne fizzed softly, like the sound of release. Lynn looked around the table and felt it fully. The weight was gone. The truth had done its work. They were no longer divided by misunderstanding. They were finally one family, seeing each other clearly. A month later, the ballroom glowed with soft amber light. Lynn stood near the entrance, watching guests arrive. It was her parents' 37th anniversary celebration. Every detail had been planned by her own company. Her team moved gracefully, invisible but efficient. The room shimmered with flowers, gold, and quiet joy. Her mother wore midnight blue and couldn't stop smiling. Her father greeted friends with pride in his eyes. He introduced Lynn to everyone as our brilliant daughter. The words felt both strange and beautiful to her. Mai walked by, holding a tray of place cards. Don't worry, she teased softly. I'm your unpaid intern tonight. Lynn laughed, touched by her sister's warmth. TU letter 1EA5 N chatted nearby with Lynn's operations manager. He listened instead of lecturing, taking real notes. Their dynamic had changed in small, gentle ways. Respect had replaced comparison. Curiosity replaced judgment. Lynn moved through the room, greeting guests with ease. Her confidence no longer needed armor. It simply existed, natural and quiet. She saw her family together and felt peace. No pretending, no shrinking, just belonging. Later, Mai brought her a plate of dessert. Try this, she said, eyes bright. It's amazing. Lynn tasted it and smiled. Perfect, she said. Across the room, her parents held hands while dancing. They looked years younger, lighter somehow. Lynn felt her chest warm with gratitude. The years of hiding had led to this moment. A family finally honest, finally whole. She noticed a young woman from the catering team watching. Her hands moved quickly, fixing details without being told. Lynn recognized that look, quiet talent mixed with doubt. She approached the girl gently. "The dessert timing was flawless," Lynn said. The girl blushed, shaking her head. "Just luck, ma'am." Lynn smiled. "No, it was skill, don't hide it." The girl's eyes widened, a spark of belief forming. Lynn handed her a business card. "Call me Monday." She walked away, heart light, remembering her own beginnings. Later that night, her father raised his glass for a toast. "Our daughter gave us the most beautiful gift," he said. "Not just this evening, but herself, truly herself." Applause filled the room, gentle and proud. Lynn's throat tightened as she took the mic. "A month ago, you saw what I do," she said. "Tonight, you see who I am." Her family stood together, eyes shining. Mai wrapped an arm around her shoulders. "Next time, warn me you're a millionaire," she whispered. Lynn laughed softly. "I'm still me," she replied. The band played. Laughter filled the air again. Her heart felt open, her world whole. The next morning, sunlight poured into her new office. Chicago's skyline stretched beyond the glass walls. On her desk, family photos stood beside company awards. No separation, no secrets, only truth. Her phone buzzed, Mai confirming Sunday dinner. Lynn smiled, her reflection glowing on the window pane. Sometimes, success isn't about wealth or fame. It's about being seen, fully, honestly, and free. Morning light spilled across the skyline. Lynn stood by the window, coffee warm in her hand. The city stretched wide, calm and familiar. Her reflection blended with the glass and sky. Behind her, the office hummed with quiet focus. Photos of family and team lined the shelves together. No boundaries, no masks, just life whole and clear. Her phone buzzed with a message from Mai. "Dinner on Sunday, don't be late." Lynn smiled, typing back a simple heart. The sound of laughter from the hallway reached her ears. It was the same tone she once feared to lose. Now it felt like home. She glanced at the framed note on her desk. Her father's handwriting read, "Excellence in every detail." She whispered, "I did it, Dad," softly to the air. Outside, the lake shimmered like liquid glass. The world felt both vast and intimate at once. Success no longer needed to be proven. It only needed to be lived truthfully. Lynn took one last look at the morning sky. Sometimes the greatest victory is simple. To be seen, to be loved, to be free.